He believes he's the best. He believes that he could warrant and garner comparisons to Michael Jordan someday. This is what he wants. He has said so. You don't just accomplish that by winning rings. You accomplish that by scoring 30. You accomplish that by being universally recognized as arguably the greatest shooter to have ever played this game. You accomplish that by being a showstopper and a headliner and the dude that's on the billboards and the first and the face that people walk through the turnstiles paying their hard-earned money to see.
The title of this video is going to confuse a lot of people. I mean, how am I supposed to take Michael Jordan and compare him to Stephen Curry? I mean, Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time, right? That's just the thing. This video is not about Curry versus MJ. No, this is about the impact each of them made on the game of basketball, as well as the culture surrounding the game off the court, and how they're so similar to each other. And me making my case for why Stephen Curry is this generation's Michael Jordan. So let's get into it. When Jordan entered the league back in 1985, it was a slower, more monotonous type league. In fact, the only real Showtime was the Showtime Lakers, led by Magic Johnson. But you already knew that. You see, no one had ever really seen the type of player that Jordan was. The way he could glide through the air, change directions midair, dunk, the athleticism. People really hadn't seen that, even though, you know, Dr. J, players like that were around. You didn't really see it on that level, the level Michael Jordan brought. So you look at how he played, and it kind of changed the whole culture of the NBA to the point where he really changed the way it was played. So then you look at, you can even see that in the dunk contest, where, you know, you still remember to this day how the free throw line dunk, the cradle dunk, you know, when he cradled it, cocked it back and hammered it, you know, like, those are images burned in our heads because that's the impact Jordan left on this game. Fast forward now, we look at Steph Curry and the impact he's made on the game today. Just something as small as a three-point contest. I mean, when's the last time you saw the three-point contest be just as exciting to watch as the dunk contest? When Stephen Curry started being in it. I mean, the way he can consistently shoot with that beautiful stroke, and it's just like butter every time it leaves his hands almost, it seems like. I mean, people love to watch that, and the competitiveness even him and Klay Thompson had this last year is something that has never really been seen before, which is something Steph's pretty good at, is bringing things to the league that's never been seen. I mean, you look at the way he changed even the way the game has been played. I mean, it's just as fundamentally sound now if you can shoot to pull up on the fast break as it is to take it in and shoot a layup over a defender. I mean, we've never really seen the type of player that he is, someone that can dance and pull up from 30 and bust it in a big man's eye or another guard's eye, but then can also cross someone over and get in the lane and finish with difficulty. I mean, that's just something that we just really haven't encountered before in the NBA. So you can see why I'm looking at a comparison to Jordan. Here Jordan is entering the league. No one has ever really seen anything like this guy, who's athletic, who can finish around the basket the way he can, who can dunk over a big man the way he can. Well, now we have this guy Steph in the league, who's doing things we've never seen, who's dribbling around, who's pulling up for these crazy shots, who's making these crazy highlights, these nice passes, and we've never seen a player like this. And he's changing the way the game is played, just like Jordan changed the way the game is played. And only a very few amount of players have been able to do that. And I'm thinking of two others besides Jordan and Curry, and that's Allen Iverson and Kobe Bryant. You know, everyone thinks about how Iverson, you know, crossing Jordan, and then you can think image just flashed in your head of Kobe hitting the fadeaway. You know, you shoot a paper ball into a trash can. You know, Kobe. I mean, the impact those guys had on the game. Well, then you look. The same can be said for Steph. You go to any AAU game, any high school game, you're going to see guys out there trying to cross people over and pull up for threes, or trying to get to the rim with those high floaters, you know, like Steph does. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that not just any player has that type of impact. LeBron's a great player, but he hasn't had that type of impact. You don't see guys going out and trying to play like LeBron. He hasn't had that type of impact on the game, the culture of the game, the way that Michael Jordan did. I mean, everybody saw the Like Mike commercials, you know, the Gatorade commercials. Everybody saw those. Kids wanted to be like Mike. Well, now kids want to be like Steph. You go to any playground. I mentioned AAU games, but you go to any playground, you see little kids. It's unbelievable the way they look up to this guy, and for good reason. That's the next thing I'm going to get into. Stephen Curry and Michael Jordan were both extremely marketable human beings. So let's start off with Michael Jordan. You see, when Jordan entered the league, the top shoe brand was Converse. Converse had all the top players. Larry Bird, Dr. J, Magic Johnson. It ran things in the basketball shoe industry. But instead of signing with them, the top dog, Jordan signed with a running shoe company called Nike, who was just getting their feet wet in the basketball industry. Well, now everybody knows who Nike is. Jordan turned them into a billion, with an S, billions dollar industry from a basketball standpoint, to the point where even today the cultural impact is insane. I mean, you see people wearing Jordans everywhere. I've got several pairs of J's in my closet. I mean, it's just insane the impact they have even today, years after he's retired. His shoes still make that impact. Now fast forward to Stephen Curry, straight out of college, signs with Nike. Alright, with Nike his first few years in the NBA. Well, then he signs this mega deal with Under Armour. And anybody that knows Under Armour knows that was not a basketball company whatsoever. They had some shoes, but they were ugly. And their best, I mean, they did not have any good athletes signed with them from a basketball standpoint. Not only now is Curry their top athlete, but Curry has taken that brand and made it marketable to the point where you can walk in a mall and you can see their displays in Foot Locker, in Champs. 3 years ago, you would have never seen that. But they might have had a little space back in the back of the store with some Under Armour gear. But now you will walk in and his cutout will be right there with his signature shoes, right there in the middle of everything. He has made that impact. And you know, I saw the stat the other day. He's projected to pass LeBron for the top signature shoe in 2016. That is so, if you know anything about sneakers, that is so hard to believe that Under Armour would pass all the Nike competitors to be the top signature shoe of current NBA players. That's absolutely crazy. And it just goes to show the impact Curry has had on the game culturally off the court, because as anybody that knows, brands are a huge thing to youth. I mean, you know, if it's not Nike or Jordan, a lot of times people won't wear it. But he's made Under Armour cool. He's made the shoes cool. That's something that is just priceless. The next thing I want to talk about is the legendary work ethic these two guys possess. I know every NBA player has worked hard to get to where they are. I get that. But it's really hard for an NBA superstar to go and be willing to put in the type of work it takes to be great. You see, Jordan, when he first entered the league, was known for his finishing ability, for his athleticism. But he wasn't known for his shooting. in order to reach that next level of greatness, he worked at his jump shot. He worked at the mid-range. He worked at the three-point. And by the end of his career, he was a very decent three-point shooter. That's how he stayed in the league longer. That's how he made it towards the end of his career. That's how he took his team and himself to that level. Well, now you look at Curry. When Curry first entered the league, he was known as a jump shooter. He was not known as anything but that. But he has developed into an exceptional finisher to the point where he shoots well over 50% in the lane. To the point where people have to respect his drive almost as much as they have to respect his shot, because of the way he's learned to be crafty around the rim, being creative with his finishes. You've seen the high arcing floaters, scoop shot floaters. You've seen the shots where he scoops it up and under and puts the English on it off the top of the glass. I mean, those type of shots are something that he's had to work countless hours on, just like he did his jump shot. And it's one thing to make it to the NBA on one skill, but when you can get to the NBA on that skill and then make your weakness your strength, that just goes to show the incredible work ethic those two men put in to not only take themselves to the next level, but to take their teams to the next level. And as we see now with Curry and what he's doing with the Warriors, breaking Jordan's record of 72 wins and breaking it to 73, I mean, those types of things are not just coincidental. The work ethic is something that is very similar between these two guys. I mean, I know this is a rough argument and it's hard to pass on to people because Jordan is such an untouchable figure in society. That's why I want to make sure people understand I'm not here comparing the two. Well, I am comparing the two, but I'm not here trying to say one's better than the other. What I am saying is from a cultural standpoint, on the court, off the court, Curry has made the same impact. Maybe not to the same degree, but the same type of impact that Jordan made on his generation, Curry is making on this generation. The way the game's played, the way fans watch the game, the excitement level of the game. I mean, you can argue that Curry has brought so much excitement to the game that wasn't here before, the same way that Jordan brought that same level of excitement to the game back when he first came onto the scene. So I think it's just awesome to be able to say that we have the opportunity to watch this guy play. Now, kids didn't have a chance to watch Jordan. These kids have a chance to watch Steph and Curry and see the greatness that he's creating, that they're going to be able to tell their kids and their kids' kids for generations to come about the things that Stephen Curry's doing. It seems like he's breaking a new record every game. Not to mention the highlights he creates every game. It seems like you can't get on social media without it blowing up talking about the latest play Steph had. I mean, I was watching the Western Conference Finals and he hit this shot over Kevin Durant that I couldn't even believe he even got off, and he swished it. I mean, and then images ring of the shot he hit from just inside half court to win the game against Oklahoma City earlier in the year. Those images are going to be burned in this generation's memories forever. The same way Jordan had shots that were burned in that generation's memory. And I'm so excited to see what he can do over the rest of his career, to see the milestones he can break, and to see the level he can reach. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know that it's kind of hard to wrap your head around the concept here, but I know that you guys are going to be very supportive. I hope you guys will leave feedback in the comment section below. I want to hear what you guys think about this topic. I mean, it's a hot topic, and I guarantee I'm going to get a lot of feedback on it. So I want you to leave your comments, drop a like. Please don't forget to subscribe. Lots more to come. This channel is growing every day. It's got so much potential, and I want you to be along for the ride. Thank you again for watching. God bless.